Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Now, before we start the live show, I'm going to pass over to the Hangout so you can enjoy the dulcet tones of whoever is in there while I set up for the next live show.
Get any more donations, that's fine. What I'll have to do is just wait a couple of weeks and put the rest together myself, because I do want to get that. I want to get it already modified so it films in both, well, all spectrums basically. You know, if I just buy it right now, it won't film in 3D. Not 3D, infrared.
And infrared's definitely worth it.
Yeah. So it's $300 more that I need to get together. So we'll see. It just makes sense to get it all modified and ready to go, as opposed to just buying it and then not having that ability to film in infrared.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's better rather to be patient. You know, you get a better quality.
Cool.
Damn, I pressed the live button.
Oh dear me, so we're live.
No, we're not. I pressed it and then pressed it again, and it's just caught a 17-second video, which isn't a great problem other than I've shared that video, which I've now had to delete, which is annoying. I have to share it again, which is really frustrating. Oh well, such is life.
People are going to be like, what's going on here?
Just the new Stream Deck software is just a bit weird. I pressed the record button, the live button came on, but it said recording, and then it had a glitch in OBS. So I'm distracted by two different things going, why is it glitching? Okay, I'll just stop the recording. Then I look across, it says the live button's on. So I've then pressed the live button, which has started the live show, and then gone, oh, now it's live. Oh, bollocks. Oh well.
Hi,
Mic check. Hello.
Hello, Paul.
Played hooky yesterday. It was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy.
Thank you.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, sirs.
I'm going to be a bit quiet for a bit because I'm just sharing the show again, Paul.
Oh, not a problem. Did you did anybody come in and comment on Ballbusters yesterday?
Ballbusters?
No, after the show on Sunday or Saturday, whatever it was. Did anybody bring up the topic and discuss it yesterday? I was wondering.
Oh, you'd have to go through the comments. Probably.
Yeah, I was listening to it today again. It's actually very good points.
I know just Slick tried to get his 2 cents in the comments.
Yeah, Travis. Please hold. Okay. Everyone holding?
What do you want me to hold?
Travis?
You can hold gravity.
Kind of hard to do that through the computer screen.
You can just imagine it to be there.
True. So I'll imagine I'm holding Travis.
Did you see Phuket's word video he put up trying to so-called prove gravity with a scale?
Epic.
It was awesome.
I'll have to go watch that.
Right, I think I've undone that 17-second mistake. Than it remaining in a few playlists.
It looks like Seventh Day just put up a video called "What Is Math?" So, 5 minutes ago. So it just came up, just popped up.
You put up a video, sorry?
Seventh Day Truth Seeker. I guess it was off Globebusters. They're trying to describe what math is. I haven't watched it. It just popped up. I didn't see Globebusters Sunday, so I don't know what they're talking about.
There wasn't a Globebusters on Sunday.
Well, then I didn't miss nothing then. Cool.
He's usually got some good content.
Right, done. The annoying part is that video registers as the video that they'd have probably stuck in everyone's subscriptions feed, and then that's been removed, and then the next video they will under promote typically, which will be the one that actually goes out live. Maybe I should have left that 17-second video up. It'd have been the most popular 17-second video ever.
But we'll just share it crazy, that's all.
I've deleted it already. There's no point having some random 17-second video with nothing on it. Just my opening, whatever, you know.
Check.
Frame.
Anybody hear me?
Hey, who is that?
Plain truth.
Hey, Travis.
Okay.
Hello.
You're a chatty bunch this morning. 5 of us here.
I was going to try to start a morning show this morning, but I had to hard reset my hard drive a couple weeks ago, and I lost my OBS setup, so I had to reset everything this morning. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Got a new setup, right? Anthony helped you out. He was saying from memory a couple of months ago.
Yeah, but then my my hard drive crashed, and I couldn't reset it normally, so I had to do a hard reset, and then I had to remember all the stuff that I had and what I'd forgotten, all that kind of stuff. So it's been a relearning curve again this morning.
I hate that, because once you set something up, you set it up and then you forget about it, don't you? You don't spend ages relearning the settings each time you go into it. You've just done it once off a tutorial, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Hi Spurs, how you doing?
Sitting here looking at the screen, going, "Okay, what did I do next?"
Yeah, exactly. I've got a playlist in, I think it's in Nathan Oakley 1980. I forget which. I think it might be that channel, but it's like tech videos. I've labelled it. And I don't think it's even a published playlist, but it's basically my reference for how I set up OBS, how I set up Voice Meter Banana, how I set up Discord, all those things that I've done over the time. Each time you do it, you find that you go through half a dozen or a dozen crap tutorials that don't teach you properly, and then you find the one good one that concisely tells you how to set something up. And then I save that video so I can then share it. So when it comes to Banana, I've got the same video that I send to everybody. That it's like, here's the one video I found with Banana that shows you correctly how to set it up.
Okay, so just quickly before you start on these things, I have a ball earther. He's from Sweden, and he's very ball earthery and all of those things. And I'm just wondering, how do you think it will go?
How do I think?
Please bring him on.
Morning, guys.
How
Morning,
do we think
Chocolate.
How do we think what will go?
Well, he's not like the regular ball earthers who, he's just a guy from Sweden who's obviously been indoctrinated heavily, and he wants to talk to the flat earthers and things like that, but I'm just concerned.
How do
I
you think
said
it'll
bring him
go?
on.
Depends who's talking to him.
Right. Well, yeah. Like he's new to the scene, so he's ready to discuss all aspects. Like we've been talking about, Cavendish and gravity, and I got him to concede yesterday about space is like not space. It's not a vacuum. It's low pressure. So it's still atmosphere. But he still thinks it's a ball. He's still, he's still in the camp. But like I say, I'm just. I think he wants more of a conversation. So I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know. I don't know if he. He truly believes these things, right? He believes these things. So obviously, you're going to question him and say, "Can you demonstrate?" But I'm just wondering, how will it go? Do you think? I don't want to scare him away.
Depends how big a fundy he is, right?
Yeah.
Like all of them. If he's a massive fundy, then probably badly.
No, but he's not really like them. But he is, but he's not as aggressive as them. But he is. He's still very much adamant that it's a ball and things like that.
Well, there you go. So fundy.
Spurs.
Yes.
Can we sort of call you a glowy ambassador of some kind?
Sympathizer.
No, I mean, they're just people, aren't they? Really, who have been deceived. That's all. That's how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
just feel if you make it to a competition, then they just shut down. They shut down and they're just like, okay, fine. You believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. Have a nice.
Yeah, they get personal.
We did this last time. We had a little candlelit vigil for curved water. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
Well,
let's see if I can get him on before the show starts. I send him the link, shall I? Yeah?
Yeah, of course. By all means.
Let's have a talk. Okay.
Nathan, you want to sing the song again?
Kumbaya.
Yeah.
I've sent him the link. His name's Gummy Bear. I don't know if you've spoken to him before or not. He might join, but again, he's quite nervous because he's very new to the scene. Yeah. So hopefully he comes in.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by The Plain Truth, Spurs Chemo, Ranty Flat Earth, Paul, Gummy Bear, Flatzoid, and Chocolate Saying. Very good to have you all.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello, what ho?
Right, I'm going to nominate someone. I'm going to nominate Travis to do the housekeeping because I've forgotten to share the link because there was a technical issue. So I'm going to do that now. But hopefully Travis will do a great job.
You want me to run through housekeeping?
Yes, I'll help you out. I'll keep my mic open.
Any signs of axial rotation?
No, none.
Nope, still not busy.
All right, since I'm the host here, somebody else has got to cover for me. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Scientific evidence of what?
Sorry. Travis still does the best.
There is no scientific evidence or proof for gravity. Full stop.
But you can imagine it to be.
This is an interesting point because I was speaking with. We've got Gummy here. I mean, let's introduce Gummy. He believes in the globe. Gummy, are you with us? Is your microphone?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Excellent.
Yep.
And I was discussing with Gummy here about gravity. So, I had the idea that, okay, most forces can power things. So without this, if you want to power something, you would have a force. So I was like, well, what does gravity power? Does it power anything? Because that could be a sign of gravity. And Zinda and Gummy backed him up. They were saying dams are powered by gravity. I thought it was interesting. I was like, how does that work? And so Gummy, if you can explain, if you understand gravity, because you think gravity is a real thing, right?
Yeah. So the way that dams would, in essence, harvest energy from gravity.
Don't be scared, Gummy. We're all friends here.
Yeah, sure. I'm just no problem. Either way, yeah. So because of how gravity works, if you have something at a higher elevation, it gets potential energy. And essentially, if water then starts going down, that potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. And then if you then have
I hear nothing. Is anybody there?
Oh, I'm sorry?
Yeah, we're all here. Travis, can you not hear us? Clearly not.
No, well, I mean, I heard that, but I didn't hear Gummy talk at all.
Hello?
Yeah, I heard Gummy.
I can hear Gummy.
I can hear him.
Yep, I hear him too.
Just a weird anomaly.
Hello.
Hi Arwin, can I just say hello to Right the Hand as well, just to check Discord's all functioning perfectly.
Sorry about that, Amy. You can sort of carry on.
Maybe not. Well, I think the Discord server's working perfectly, so again, the link's just been published.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, let's get into this. Your understanding of this this device powered by gravity, and then I guess they can discuss, the ins and outs of gravity itself. So, go on. Then you're saying gravity is powers dams, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How?
So, so because of gravity, things higher up have a potential energy. Essentially, because when it goes downwards, it gets accelerated and gets kinetic energy. If you then have a dam in the way with, for example, a water turbine, you can then capture that kinetic energy into the turbine and convert that to electricity.
What is that kinetic energy?
Hold on one second. Sorry.
Dummy.
You started by saying because of gravity. And the question on the table is there any scientific evidence of gravity? So you've given us an example of gravity, the claimed motion of it, giving us energy in a dam.
What I've shown you, or what I'm talking about, is things accelerate downwards, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Now, I would say that's because of gravity, and I have
yes,
no
I understand that.
Please,
can you not interrupt me? I was in the middle of saying something,
I'm sorry.
Reaffirming what you'd already stated. So you were talking about a dam that produces energy because of gravitation, i.e. the water flowing lower. But you appreciate that they actually run at a net loss because they have to first pump the water to the top. You appreciate that they run at a net loss. They're not producing energy, they're running.
No, that would be assuming that this dam is controlled by pumping the water upwards. There are other ways to get water upwards.
Yes.
For example, water will condense and form into clouds and then rain. And that way you will actually get water on top of stuff without the people using energy to do that.
Oh, you could do it much easier. There, you can actually have a tube.
Sorry, this isn't
upward, and then really transport water just by the suction of it.
This isn't what dam debate. So, is there any scientific evidence of gravity or not? I'm not interested in debating dams that run at a net loss when you pump the water up to the top.
I just told you why they're not at a net loss.
I don't care. We're talking about gravity. Is there any
but
scientific
if you bring it up
evidence
as an argument, and I then say that your argument is invalid, and then you say don't care, isn't that a bit hypocritical?
Sorry, I'll start again. You missed the first point I made. You started by saying, because of gravity. So you are automatically assuming and invoking this gravity thing. What is it? Can you show it me? Is there any scientific evidence of it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the original question. Is there any scientific evidence of it? And we're talking about generating electricity with dams. So that's not evidence of gravity.
Yeah. So what I said was that it accelerates down because of gravity, and there's no other explanation that has been sufficient enough to prove why things accelerate downwards.
Sorry, I just said they first pumped it up. Did you not hear me say that?
I just told you that. No, you don't have to
every time I
pump it
talk,
up.
you seem to interrupt me.
Because you're
Yeah, don't interrupt.
entirely.
Don't interrupt. I'll say it again.
Then stop
I'll say it
strawmanning
again
me.
while you keep interrupting. Stop interrupting me, please, while I state for an attempted third time. They first pump the water up to the top holding reservoir.
Was that an uppity force?
You're trying to explain a force for why it's coming down. I'm giving it you. They first pump it up. Is the silence your response to that?
No, because every time I try to respond to anything, you say that I'm interrupting you, even though you're always strawmanning me.
I'm not strawmanning you. You haven't addressed what I've said. that is a fact. These there you go, interrupting me, you see? Are you projecting your interruptions of me? No, I am not interrupting you. I'm making a statement and in the middle of a sentence when you started talking. That would be you interrupting me. So I am not strawmanning you. This is a fact. These hydroelectric plants that you have claimed are a proof of gravity have a cause for the stuff that goes down. You are ignoring that cause. I've said it now 4 times. They first pump the water up.
All right, can I speak now then? Because like I said, that is one way you can put water up there, but there's also natural ways that the water is put up there, like with rain.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Okay.
So what? And sorry, I failed to see how that is a proof using a dam that runs at a net loss that gravity is doing this thing that you claim it's doing, or is in any way a scientific evidence of gravity.
And I fail to understand how something running at a net loss automatically just disapproves anything that it's about.
Well, it's been more energy putting into getting it up there, the bit that you ignore when you assert the force of down. So there's also been a force of up, and when you calculate the two, you were at a net loss. So what's this magical force going to lose us energy along its journey? Is that your proof that we have this force of gravity? Is this your scientific evidence? This is useless.
No, okay, so how do things move?
Why are you asking me? What's your scientific evidence of gravity?
Okay, so the reason I'm asking you is because you're asserting that by putting a force on something upwards to put it up somewhere, it then starts accelerating downwards. That's not how forces work. If you push something in one direction, it then accelerates in the same direction. It doesn't suddenly move in the other direction.
Sorry, if you push it, that would be you pushing it though, wouldn't it? You have to push it. So
yes.
I fail to see why this is in any way scientific evidence of gravity, which is what you've been asked for.
So because because you said that it's because you put it up there, and I'm saying yes, but the force that you put it up there with is directed upwards, and then it's accelerating downwards, which means that force is not what's making it go downwards.
What force?
The force of you putting it up there. You need to exert a force to put it up there in the first place.
Yeah, what goes up must come down. You've put energy in getting it up, and then it comes back down again. So what is your point? I keep saying this is the second time I've said this. This is not scientific evidence of gravity. That's what you're being asked for.
There's another way of explaining it very simply using relative density.
I don't care. I want scientific evidence of gravity.
So relative density doesn't work, which is why I'm saying.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Right, do you want to go into that then instead?
Why? Hold on. Why are you now strawmanning us? You are trying to prove gravity. Don't strawman argument and take apart relative density like I care. Prove your claim that gravity is real. Don't strawman us.
Do you know what a strawman is? It's misrepresenting someone's argument. He just said that density works instead.
So far, you haven't made one.
That's not a strawman.
You haven't made one. You're now taking apart how relative density doesn't work. when you're trying to prove an affirmative that gravity is real. So let's not worry about this straw man. It seems associated with your claim you haven't proved yet. It's not. Let's just stick to proving what you think exists, this force of gravity. Have you any scientific evidence of it?
Okay, so just a quick thing is that I did say that there's no other force than gravity that sufficiently explains it, but let's go into gravity then. So one experiment would be the Cavendish experiment.
It's not an experiment.
That was a straw man.
It's not an experiment.
And why is it not an experiment?
Because it doesn't have an observed phenomena or a dependent variable, if you want to call it that, or an independent variable, your presumed cause of the effect.
It also proves torsion bar twist and not gravity.
Yeah, if you want to claim the phenomena of torsion bar twist is a naturally occurring phenomena, my friend, is that what you would assert, that torsion bar twist is a natural phenomena?
I'm not sure what you mean by torsion bar twist.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I've
never heard that term
really?
before.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry. What's occurring in the Cavendish experiment, my friend, that you've claimed is scientific evidence of gravity? Do you not know what this claim you've made is?
I do know, but I have never heard the term torsion twist, which is what I'm asking, yeah.
That's amazing. So tell me what occurs in the Cavendish experiment that's not an experiment because it does not have a dependent or independent variable. Yeah. Go ahead.
So first of all, the reason I haven't heard torsion twist is maybe because English isn't my native language. But either way, what happens in the Cavendish experiment is that you have balls suspended by torsion, for example, a string, and then because of gravitational attraction, they will move towards each other.
All assumed.
All observed.
So no worries. So in an experiment, we're primarily interested with phenomena. So what's the phenomena being studied?
Masses attracting each other.
So where do we observe that in nature, please?
When you have a torsion bar.
Sorry, that's not in nature, is it? Do you want to take me to a naturally occurring torsion bar?
Do you want to take me to a naturally occurring engine?
Excuse me, is that another straw man red herring? We're not talking.
No, just because it's
Excuse me. Yeah, I was talking. We're not talking about engines now, are we? We're talking about your claim that you have scientific evidence of gravity with this quote-unquote experiment. Now, I'd like you to tell me the phenomena, and you have said mass attracting mass. When I ask you where that happens in nature, you say in a torsion bar. What, in this experiment? Yeah. That's not occurring naturally, my friend. That's been built by a man.
Yeah, so it's definitely not in the natural world.
I'll ask again, where do we observe mass attracting mass in nature?
In the celestial bodies.
Why would you assert
on Earth, man? On Earth. Where do we see mass attracting mass in real life?
Why would you assert that mass attracts mass in the celestial bodies? Do you know that they are mass? Have you been to examine these lights and establish that they are in fact mass?
Are you asserting that they might not be mass?
How do you know the mass of them? Would it be by chance?
They're physical objects. They have mass.
Excuse me, I hadn't quite finished my question.
No, but you asked the question.
Would the mass of these celestial bodies be in any way derived from this non-experiment?
They could be, yeah.
Oh, well, that's a shame. You see, that's kind of putting the cart before the horse, because first thing you need to do is observe a phenomena, not construct a man-made device, derive the mass of the bodies that you think are mass in the sky, and then claim that those masses are attracting one another. No, friend. We first must observe mass actually attracting mass, so that that we can vary and manipulate the cause of that attraction of mass, if we can first observe it.
Well, now you're going against what you said about the scientific method. We have observed things attracting each other, and our hypothesis is that it's because of their mass that they're attracting.
No
That's
worries.
a naturally observing phenomena.
So our phenomena is the celestial bodies attracting one another, and the Cavendish experiment will establish the cause of that effect, will it? So you're going to vary something to cause the attraction of mass in the stars. That's what happens in Cavendish, is it? Really?
No.
Oh, well, you just told me the
But
phenomena.
you're asking about a naturally occurring phenomenon.
Yeah, mass attracting mass. You said the stars. If that's your dependent variable, the phenomena, then in an experiment, you're trying to vary and manipulate what you assume causes that effect. In this instance, the effect of, according to you, mass attracting mass in the sky. So what was it exactly that was varied to cause that effect in the sky?
So I don't. First of all, I don't agree that it has to be a naturally observed phenomena.
Really? You
That's
think that?
scientific
Hold on. So
So-
do you hold on? Do you believe that something that a man makes is a phenomena? Because when you're trying to establish the cause of something that a man has made, the cause is always the same. A man made it.
Well, that would be the cause of it being made, not
That's
how it
correct.
works.
Yes, that's correct. Well,
Yeah.
it's not a phenomena then, is it? Certainly not a natural phenomena. And considering that science is exclusively interested in the physical and natural world, I'm not too concerned about the devices that men put together and claim a phenomena. They're not. We must first observe the phenomena occurring in nature for it to be a natural phenomena. That's what science is interested in. Now, other people might be interested in finding out the cause of a man-made device, but that's just pseudoscience.
So you just said the physical world, which is very important. It's not about the natural world, it's about the physical world. And if I may make an analogy.
Is the natural world not physical?
Yes.
Are you listening to what you're saying, man?
Sorry, you realise we're talking about natural science, right?
Can I make an analogy?
Hold on, you didn't address what I just said. We are talking about natural science, the world we live in.
Yes, the physical world we live in.
Sorry, natural science. So you're now going to argue that natural science isn't interested in natural things, but merely only physical things. Is that what you're about to argue? Because that's not very sensible now, is it?
Why do you make it this division of natural science? It's just science.
Because that's what we're interested in. The world we live in most definitely falls into the category of natural science, my friend. Did you not realise that?
No, it falls into the physical world, and then the natural world is a subset of that.
So you're saying that a subset of natural science is the natural world. That's a subset of natural science, is it? I'm afraid not, my friend. You're very confused.
No, so the physical world would be the entire Earth. Then we have things like man-made, like buildings and stuff, and you don't claim that to be the natural world. But then we can go into the forest with trees and stuff. That's the natural world. But that doesn't mean that buildings and stuff don't exist. They're still part of the physical world.
Yeah, they're just not part of the natural world. What natural science would be interested in? So you can go away and study architecture, if you'd like. But me, I'm interested in the world we live in. The natural world. You can be interested in the things man devises, like gravity. You can be all interested in what men tell you and what they devise. Me, I'm interested in the natural world, exclusively interested in that. That's what this subject is. Flat Earth debate? Yeah, we're definitely talking about the world here, not about buildings.
So when you do experiments like the laser test, why is the laser
not an
natural?
experiment. That's not an experiment either. It seems you don't. What are the three constituent parts of an experiment? Tell me.
The three of a scientific experiment.
Take your
Yes,
time.
sir.
Yeah, so
Don't
it would
interrupt
be.
If you know another one.
Don't interrupt him. What are the three constituent parts of a scientific experiment?
An observation and a hypothesis, and then
Wrong.
an experiment.
You're wrong. No, incorrect.
Right.
Do you want to try again? Seems you don't know what an experiment is.
No, you can explain to me which three parts you mean.
You've just said experiment more than 3 times, I believe. You've declared that a laser is an experiment and the Cavendish is an experiment. I expect you to know what that word means. I'll ask a second time. Given that you've got it incorrect, you're wrong. What are the 3 constituent parts of every single scientific experiment? Without exception. If you knew what an experiment was, you'd know this instantly. Just without answering, does everyone else on the panel know the answer to this question?
Science doesn't prove anything anyway.
Arwen, don't be sarcastic. Just say yes. If you do, no if you don't.
Yep.
Chocolate, it says yes.
Yes.
Physics says yes. 3 constituent parts of a scientific experiment. If you don't know the answer, please say no.
I don't know which 3 constituents you're talking about. I know the entire scientific method, but I'm not sure about the 3 you're talking about.
I'm talking about an experiment, a word you've used on multiple occasions here. You should know what that is if you're declaring experimentation has occurred. And it's clear that you don't know what an experiment is because you don't know what the 3 Why are you talking over me? I haven't finished my statement. That was a question.
Yeah, because you asked a question, so I thought I would respond, but then you kept talking.
Yeah, you responded incorrectly. You who have declared experiment do not know what that is.
I know what a scientific experiment is, but you're asking me for 3 specific constituents that I don't really know what you're pointing at.
Well, then you don't know, because that's what an experiment is. It consists of 3 constituent parts. If you knew what that was, you would be able to declare it here and now. Other people on the panel know. You do not. So why are you here telling me that you've got experiments when you don't even know what they are?
All right, well, can someone else name
the
3 constituent parts?
Are you stupid? I'm asking you. You are the one who's made the declaration. Gravity's real. We've got science. Yeah, we've got experiments. No, you haven't. Now I'm asking you what an experiment is, this word you've used that you've declared. And you're asking us to tell you what you want us to school you. You're the one making the declarations here.
You're the one who's asserting that everyone here knows it.
Yeah, I know. I've done this show long enough to know my own panel know the answer to this, given that we've schooled other people who believe they live on a sphere, who come here and declare they've got experiments. We've asked this same question on multitudes of occasions. And it's hysterical when we find that the person declaring that they've got an experiment hasn't got the vaguest clue what an experiment is. And this is no exception, my friend. You haven't got the vaguest idea what you're talking about, have you?
This is a semantical argument.
Semantics?
Just I don't know what you mean by
what does semantics mean? What does the word semantics mean? Semantics means words and their meanings. So yeah, you're damn right this is semantics. You've used a word, and I want you to be absolutely clear to the audience in my beration of you that you don't know what it means. Yeah, semantics, my friend. You don't know what semantics are. And you definitely don't know what an experiment is. Otherwise, you'd be able to tell me the 3 constituent parts, as other panel members could, but you can't. You're just a pretender clown. You're pretending to know what these words mean that you use, and you don't. So why are you here using words that you don't understand? That's my question to you. I'll repeat it. Why, gummy, are you here using these words like experiment when you haven't got the vaguest clue what they mean?
I know what a scientific experiment is, and I can walk you through it from start to finish. However, what I do not know is what you're talking about.
You haven't told us.
What
you're just lying. You're lying. I'll talk over you now.
Now you're talking over me.
Yeah, I'm going to, because you're lying. You said I know what an experiment is. No, you don't. You liar. So tell us, what's an experiment? It's got 3 parts to it. 3 constituent parts. If you know what an experiment is, say now, or concede that you're a liar. You haven't got the vaguest clue what an experiment is, or you'd have told us.
Like
Come
I
on,
said,
tell us.
Gummy, if you're not understanding the
Everyone
problem,
shut up. Stop it. Gummy, you've just said I know what an experiment is. Every single experiment ever has 3 constituent parts. If you are to declare you know what an experiment is, tell us what they are. You'd know if you knew. You just don't, and you're a liar.
Gummy, what he's trying to tell you is in a scientific experiment, you need 3 things.
Chocolate, just let it be silent.
All right.
You've said you know what an experiment is. I've got to repeat it again through the silence. Everybody just let him sit in his stupidity and his silence while he tells us again that he knows what an experiment is. Presumably frantically Google searching, Tell us what the three constituent parts are if you know what an experiment is.
Back to the semantical. I don't know what you mean by the three constituent parts.
Then you don't know what an experiment is.
Yes, because I can walk you through the scientific experiment from start to finish, all the parts of it, but I don't know what you're referring to with the three constituent
Tell
parts.
us about the three constituent parts in every single experiment then. If you know, which you keep saying you do, even though it's glaringly obvious you don't. What are you waiting for? You've just said it a third time. You know what an experiment is, so tell us.
Because you're completely avoiding what I just said.
You haven't told us what an experiment... you think you can play those games with me, my friend? Everyone in this panel knows you haven't told us yet. So tell us, what are the three constituent parts?
Yes, I haven't told you the three constituent parts because I don't know which three you're referring to. I've never heard that part.
Well, why don't you actually go and present it then, instead of claiming you know it?
Doesn't know. He just has absolutely no humility. He still wants to believe he knows what an experiment is. He doesn't.
All right. An experiment. You first have an observation, and you need to, and you want to find out what is causing that. So you create a hypothesis, then you test with an experiment, and by analyzing the results, you either see that your hypothesis is true or that your hypothesis is false. If it's false, then you need to find a new hypothesis that does conform to reality. And if it is true, then you count that towards that it is true.
That's fascinating. So what are the three constituent parts of the actual experiment? You said then you do an experiment, and you didn't tell us what we do or what the constituent parts of it are, surprisingly, because you don't know.
The experiment, it depends on what you're testing. I mean, it's you take it like
no, it
independent
doesn't. Let me say it again. You're wrong. I have to stop you because you're wrong. I'll say it again. Every experiment has three constituent parts. It does not depend. You're wrong. Again, if you knew what an experiment was, you wouldn't say such nonsense. But you don't and can't admit it. Don't know why. After, 15 minutes of this on gravity, still not getting scientific evidence, you don't know what science is.
All right. Well, then I will concede that I don't know what you mean by the three constituent parts of an experiment. I will concede that.
Okay, no worries. Thank you for conceding that you do not know what an experiment is.
Can we ask him what observation means?
Not yet.
That was his first.
I've got a further follow-up question. Why have you come here to tell us about, quote, experiments?
I was come here and then I was led into those experiments by the conversation.
Sorry, you were asked to give scientific evidence of gravity. You gave us what you claimed were experiments. They weren't. Now I want to know why, given that you don't know what experiments are, why you're here declaring that you've got experiments.
I mean, I would say that essentially, I would say that they are experiments, only that
you don't know what experiments are. How would you know? You don't know what an experiment is. So why would you say you don't think they might or might not be anything when you don't know the specifics of what an experiment is? So let's not worry about what you think anymore. I'm asking a different question. Given that you don't know what an experiment is, why would you have the audacity to come here and tell us specifically about, quote, experiment?
Because your model doesn't work.
Excuse me? That doesn't answer my question about why you have come here, lied, said that you do know what experiments are, lied, and declared, when you have not, got experiments, and further to that, you don't even know what experiments are. I want to know what has motivated you, the fraud, to come here, declare things that you don't have and don't understand. I would like to know why.
All right. So I came here because I have an understanding of things.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't understand what experiments are. You've declared
just
them. You do.
Me again.
What part of this aren't you getting? You've come here because you've got an understanding.
You just interrupted me again.
Yeah, because you've declared that you have an understanding. You've come here because you have an understanding.
Did you let me finish my sentence?
Made declarations about things you don't understand. So you don't have an understanding. That's what I'm asking. Not explain why you do understand. It's very, very clear that you don't. We've made you concede. You've conceded. You don't understand. So don't make your first explanation of why you've come here, the fraud, to claim things you don't have and don't understand, that you do understand. That shouldn't be your opener, my friend. It's going to piss me right off. You've already declared you don't understand. You've conceded that. Why would you open with, I've come here because I do understand? You don't.
I don't understand your method of scientific experiment.
No. Not my method. Wrong. How dare you? Not
purely semantical.
Stop. Yeah, because you've just declared it's my method. No, it's the scientific method. A method you do not understand. You haven't got a clue what an experiment is. So it's not my method. That's why I'm interrupting you. You don't understand the scientific method, not Nathan's scientific method. It's not my method. It's the method. Okay?
Yeah. Gummy, if I may, it's like you coming to the court. No, but I would like to make a parallel very shortly.
Why?
Because it's appropriate. It's short.
Why? He's this guy.
He's like at the point where he's to a courtroom defending himself
me.
Without knowing the judicial language. That's
I don't
exactly
care what he has declared experiments. Therefore, he should bloody well know what it means. He's also conceded he doesn't. Why am I having to have this argument with you, Arwin? I want to know why this man has come and declared things he claims he has that A, he doesn't have experiments, and B, he doesn't understand what experiments are. That makes him a charlatan, and I want to know why. I don't want a parallel from you. I want to know from Gummy why he's come here and behaved like a charlatan, claiming things he hasn't got, experiments, and why he doesn't even know what an experiment is when he's declaring that he's got them. That's what I want to know.
Okay, so here's how I would put it as clearly as possible. We have a scientific experiment, and you have or someone has subdivided it into the three constituents, as you stated. I have never heard that subdivision into three specific constituents, which is why I cannot answer your question when you state it in that manner. However, I know how a scientific experiment is done.
No, you know the scientific method. You went through the scientific method, not a scientific experiment, which is specifically what you're being asked for, because it's specifically what you declared you had.
So when I tried to explain to you the scientific experiment, you interrupted me after I said two words. I said independent variable and dependent variable, and then you stopped me right there.
I didn't hear those words. So what's the third? No worries. So you got two. Took 20 minutes? What's the third?
The third would be a test. I mean,
Sorry.
like
three.
What's it
You've
called?
got two. Presumably after a lot of Google searching. Now claiming that you've said it already. Typical baller tactic. I didn't hear him say that. Did anyone on the panel hear him say independent and dependent variable?
Absolutely not.
Is there a bot on this? Because I promise.
Excuse me, I didn't ask you, Gummy.
Actually, I think I did hear him say something like that. Sorry, but he did say something about independent variable.
At some point, yes, but he basically took everything, and all he had to do is just mention the core of it.
Okay, he's got 2 out of 3. What's the third?
Come on, Gummy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean,
independent variable.
Don't help him.
Variable.
Don't help him.
What's the third?
No, I'm sorry. I don't know exactly which one you mean.
Sorry, a moment ago you didn't know, and now you've declared it's the independent and dependent variable. You've got 2 out of 3. What's your problem?
My problem, I would say, is language barrier. But yeah, I know you want to accept that.
Okay. Well, let's not worry about the third. We'll see if you can Google search it between now and then. So, what is a dependent variable?
It is essentially an effect of the experiment, of changing the independent variables.
An effect. And what is an independent variable?
That would be something that you think is affecting the dependent variable that you will then vary one at a time.
One at a time?
Yes, otherwise you can't know which one is actually affecting.
Oh.
So what else would you call an independent variable?
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that?
What would you call it? It's your presumed what?
Cause?
Cause. The presumed cause.
Yep.
So, gravity is a presumed cause of an effect. Would you agree?
That would be one way to put it, yeah.
Right. So you're invoking a cause when you use the word gravity. That's reasonable to assert, isn't it?
Yes.
Now can you tell me how it's possible to vary and manipulate gravity?
By varying stuff like mass.
That's not... Sorry, that would be varying mass, wouldn't it? Sorry, I'll say it again. Maybe you can show it me before you tell me that you're going to vary something else, but I'd like to see gravity and how it's possible to be varied and manipulated. Not mass, not height, not distance, not time. Gravity. Do you understand what I'm asking to see and see it varied?
I cannot vary the law of gravity itself. However,
sorry,
I
law.
Can vary the
sorry,
effect
law.
that
What's this
has.
word? Sorry, law of gravity. What law of gravity?
Law.
The law of gravity would be what's like the relationship between the independent variables.
Laws don't go through the scientific method. Did you not know that? Natural laws don't go through the scientific method. That's the first problem. Secondly, gravitation's not a law.
All right. Well, in the Cavendish experiment, you're not modified. You don't have gravity as the independent variable. Though.
Oh, so it's not the cause in the Sorry, according to you, it was scientific evidence of gravity. Now you're saying gravity's not the cause in this quote-unquote experiment. Well, then this is not scientific evidence of gravity, my friend.
Right, can we move on to
no.
He's not going to concede, is he? But what I want to say quickly,
hold on, Spurs.
Please.
Spurs, what's your problem?
The model, Nathan.
Sorry, why are you bailing this guy out?
Why
are you bailing this guy out? What's going on? What's going on
because
with the
he's brand new to this, and you know he's strong.
Let me get this straight. If I'm brand spanking new, sorry, hold on. If I'm brand spanking new to a debate on nuclear fission, should it be accepted when I spout utter bollocks I don't understand? Is that acceptable?
No, he's confused. He's confused.
I don't care. Sorry, confused? He's a liar. He said he understood what an experiment was. He hasn't given us the three.
He didn't lie.
Why am I being rumpus by Spurs now? Right, this guy is a fraud and a charlatan. He's also a liar. When asked what a scientific experiment was, he did not know. He's gone and got 2 of the constituent parts, not 3. Then he's declared that the 2 parts, cause and effect, he hasn't got for Cavendish. So, he's a charlatan, he's a fraud, he's a liar. And you want to defend him? What's the what's your
what has
bag?
happened is he's repeating, Nathan, what he's been told. Right, so when you ask him something, he's like, "Well, hold on. They didn't tell me that. I can only tell you what I've been told." So now he's realized. This is why there's long silences, right? He's realizing. Oh, hold on a minute. Maybe Nathan
Why are you
is
speaking for him? Why are you telling me what this man realizes?
Because it's difficult, right, to accept that you've been lied to, that you're wrong.
What's happening here, for the
fooled.
audience's benefit? Spurs feels this man's pain. Yeah, you feel his pain. You're doing what other people that are flat earthers used to do on this panel, Spurs, which is when a baller is absolutely being obliterated about their religious faith in this garbage. Someone else feels the tension so much that they feel compelled to act upon it and be the little white knight that comes to their rescue. That's what you're doing right now. Yeah, there's tension. It's palpable, isn't it, Spurs?
Yeah, but what can he do about it, right? He can
nothing. Just express.
Stop being such a ball-apologist.
Yeah, and if you ask a question, don't keep going and answering it. So what can he do about it? Nothing. All he can do is express his fundamentalist religious belief in this pseudoscience he's been told. Now, do I have sympathy that he doesn't know anything he's talking about? No, not really. He hasn't got an experiment. He's just told us there's no cause. So he doesn't know what science is. He hasn't got an experiment. He said he knows exactly what science is, and he doesn't. So what do you want? What do you want me to do?
He thought he knew something, yes?
He
and
didn't.
now he's realising.
He didn't.
I mean, again, this is the time and place.
Summarising what's happened, I don't get it, Spurs. Why aren't we talking to Gummy about his fundamentalist belief in this garbage? Why am I talking to you about how terrible it is?
He needs time to think.
Spurs, why is it that I'm having to talk to you about how terrible it is that this guy's get taken to pieces? Why is that I'm having this conversation with you instead of with him about whether or not he's reconciled his fundamentalist belief or not? Or if he still thinks he's got science.
You guys are both projecting. Why don't we ask him what he thinks about it?
Oh, that'd be nice. So, have you realised that you don't have science for gravity, or do you still believe that, Gummy?
I do still believe that.
Oh, you see, Spurs, what a disappointment. That was a waste of an interjection then. So, why would you believe that you have science for gravity when we've made it perfectly clear and you've just conceded you don't establish the cause in your claimed non-scientific, experiment? Why would you still believe that? Is it because you've got a fundamentalist religious belief in it?
No.
So why would you believe it then, when it's simply a belief?
So here's why I believe in it. Because as I said before, doing the Cavendish experiment, you don't have gravity as an independent variable, but what you have is the different masses and the radius and the distance between them, and that is essentially what gravity is.
Oh, right, that's a nice declaration. So, excuse me, why are we getting this Fundy's declarations of his religious belief? I don't need your Fundy religious belief about what you think happens in a pseudoscience experiment. It's not scientific evidence of gravity. I don't care what you say it is. Who cares? This isn't science. This isn't scientific evidence of your Fundy belief. A re-declaration of your Fundy belief isn't going to cut it. We heard that in the first opening statement you made. Yeah, you've got a Fundy belief in gravity. We know. You think that's proof, stating it again?
No, because the Cavendish experiment shows a relationship between increasing the masses and getting an increase in the force, which is what gravity is.
Yeah, you've just declared it again. How many times do we have to listen to this Fundy declaring his belief? No, my friend, it's not an experiment. It does not establish the cause of an effect. There is no effect to be observed. Mass doesn't attract mass. It never happens. We never observe it. Yeah? So there is no experiment. You've just got the presupposition of a gravitational force. And you're saying, well, we don't do anything with this gravitational force, we presume. We just do something else in a man-made device and then just say that there's a force there. You think that's going to be sufficient? You think that's science?
It is, if you actually look into it.
So what's the dependent variable?
The dependent variable would be, depending on what you measure, but it would be some sort to measure the force that that is creating the attraction.
You said it was the torsion bar twisting as the balls moved. Is that not the phenomena anymore?
That's also a way to test
also?
it.
So we've got multiple phenomena now, have we? Or do we just not have a phenomena, as asserted at the beginning? It doesn't have a natural phenomena. Take me to your torsion bar twist.
Can I explain?
We've gone. Do you understand how many times we've gone through this with fundies like yourself? Countless times. I'll state it as fact. Now listen up. You don't have to like this, Fundy. There is no observed phenomena in the Cavendish experiment. There is no independent gravity. There is nothing you can vary and manipulate to establish cause. It's not science. These are facts. Now, you'd have to like it. The mere fact that the entire garbage narrative is totally superseded by a new garbage narrative about the bending of space-time and it not being a force at all is neither here nor there, because you have a fundy belief in a non-phenomena-based, man-made, non-experiment with no cause that's gravity. And you want to tell me is science if I look into it a bit more? Do you think this is my first day on the boat?
So you're claiming that there's nothing you can vary, but yet you can vary the mass of the object and
not
observe
gravity
a
then.
different
So
force.
not gravity then. Yeah? Not gravity. So we're not... So you're saying we vary the mass to see mass attracting mass. So the hypothesis, as we finally get to, which we get to with every fundy idiot that declares this, is if mass, then mass attracts mass. Not a hypothesis. Utter nonsense. Not only is if mass, then mass attracts mass, not got gravity in it, you're not varying and manipulating your presumed cause of that effect. You've also got the dependent variable and independent variable being mass. It's utter nonsense.
No, the dependent variable is the force, and the independent variable is the mass. And when you shift the mass, the force changes.
Oh,
Nothing
the dependent
else
variable's
is
the
changing
force.
the force.
I see.
Dependent on the mass.
Where do we observe this force in nature?
Between the balls.
Oh, so it's only in the Cavendish
now
experiment.
that I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's in the Cavendish experiment that we observe this phenomena. So not in nature then.
All right. So now you go back because you're losing on the actual experiment itself. You're going back to your natural
Sorry, you went through the scientific method earlier, did you not? That's where we start. That's step one. You're saying I go back to the natural phenomena. It's step one. First step, observe a phenomena. That's step one.
Yeah, because when the experiment doesn't give you the result you want, you go back and pretend that it's
so when you say that we observe it in the balls, that's in the quasi-experiment then. So not step one. You've already gone on to step 3, and that's where you're observing phenomena. No, my friend, you observe it first, not in the experiment. That's the first step. First step, observe a phenomena. Step 1, not experiment. Step 1, phenomena observation. Step 1. You get that, right? So I'm asking, at the beginning, what's the phenomena? You say a force. Well, where do we observe this force?
Yeah, so can I give another analogy?
No, where do we observe this force in nature? Apparently now the force is the effect and not the cause. He doesn't quite appreciate that he's now substituted his independent variable for his dependent variable, and the force is no longer the cause, the force is now the effect. But we'll carry on without him realising his own stupidity. Where do we observe this force? Formerly the presumed cause, but now it's the effect. So where do we observe this effect?
So I would like to use an analogy to clarify what I'm talking about.
I don't want an analogy. Show me the force.
So if you can't use an analogy to clarify what you're talking about...
No, I don't care about analogies. I'm interested in the physical and natural world, not analogies. I'm asking where in nature do we see the force? Show it me. Don't give me an analogy. Yeah, Fundy? Listen, Fundy, I don't want an analogy. I want you to show me the force.
So if I can't use an analogy, how am I going to clarify what I'm trying to say?
How are you going to show me a force with an analogy? What, you can't? Just show me that force in nature.
What I'm going to show you with the analogy.
Show me the force, my friend. Show me the force, Luke.
It is. You can see the force when you do the experiment.
Oh, so it's not step 1 then? Experiment's not step 1. Didn't I just explain this 25 seconds ago? Experiment is not step 1. You don't first construct an experiment to observe a phenomena. You first observe a phenomena. I explained this about 60 seconds ago. I've explained it again. Now I'm saying step 1, observe a phenomena. Show me the force, Luke.
A phenomena is things falling to the
Don't
ground.
Tell me what a phenomena is. Just show me the force of gravity. Show me the force, Luke.
Yeah. Things fall to the ground at
That's something falling to the ground. That's not a force. That would be something falling to the ground. Do you not understand?
So, do things move without a force?
Oh, so you're presupposing a force. Wow, that's going to go over. Everyone, he's won. He's decided to presuppose there's a force, so he's won. Well done, Fundy. Well done. So you can demonstrate your fundamentalist belief in it as a proof. That's amazing. I'm convinced. You presuppose a force and then it's there, is it?
Can Can you
Pathetic.
demonstrate that there's acceleration without a force?
That would be acceleration. Something being pushed. So.
Yeah, pushed. Force.
Yeah, pushed. Like pushing water up to the top of a holding tank.
How do things accelerate down without a force?
Like water being pushed to the top of a holding tank. That sort of push.
Yep.
So
with the force.
Oh, with the force of a pump, yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah,
then
that's not gravity, my friend. That's a pump. So you're going to show me this force?
You just agreed that to accelerate you need a force. So how do things fall if it's not being pushed with a force?
Well, density disequilibrium.
Oh, God, Arwin. Yeah.
So you're saying that...
sorry, your example being what? A tank that's been filled by pumping water up? Well, the pump pushed it up, and then you let it down again to where it first came from. What about a tree with an apple? Yeah, well, it had to grow, didn't it? Taking energy from the soil. And then it grew. Putting quite a lot of energy into getting up there, then it fell. So there's a cause that went before it getting up high into disequilibrium.
Yes, but to get up there, it gets a force that's pushed upwards, but then when it falls, it goes accelerating downwards.
Yeah,
have you
that's
ever
where we started. So that's where we started, though, isn't
direction?
it? Yeah, that's where we started. What goes up must come down. Yeah, that's right. Once it's pushed out of equilibrium, it'll want to go back to it. But it's got to be pushed out of equilibrium first, like the tree growing or you pumping water up. This isn't you showing me the force, Luke.
It is, because have you ever pushed a ball and then it goes the other direction than the force you're pushing with?
That's me pushing it. Sorry, that's me pushing it. That's not gravity. So you show me where gravity is experienced as a force that we can experience. Given that you've already declared earlier that this is going to be an effect as opposed to a phenomena, as opposed to an independent variable, it's now a dependent variable. You've switched the two. It was a cause, now it's an effect. You realise that, right?
The force is the effect. Yes.
Yeah, previously it was the independent variable though, wasn't it? It used to be the cause earlier on in this conversation. Now it's changed to the effect. That was the point I just made the second time.
Dependent variable. Force is gravity is the cause of the force.
Oh, so it's both cause and effect.
No, I've never said that it's... What do you mean?
What do I mean? I don't know. You're formulating this nonsense, my friend. It's all right. Someone else.
Gravity is what creates the force.
So it's both cause and effect. So it's both cause and effect. Amazing.
No. Gravity is the cause of the force.
It's the cause of the force. The force being the effect.
So what's the force called?
So it's the cause and the effect.
Gravitational force.
So it's the cause and the effect, and in the hypothesis, gravity doesn't come into any of the things being varied, but it's mass causing mass attracting mass. So it's both cause and effect, and in the scientific non-scientific experiment that you've declared, we've got if mass, then mass attracts mass. So this is the biggest pile of nonsense. It's both cause and effect. We can't actually see it. It doesn't really exist. It's actually mass. It's not actually mass. It's nonsense. The whole thing is nonsense.
The gravitational force is equal to g times the mass of one object times the mass of the other object.
Just presuppose it, mate. You don't get it. Just presupposing and declaring it doesn't prove it. You're just presupposing it.
Cavendish proves it.
You're just presupposing it. It's your fundy belief getting the better of you. You don't realise that you're doing it. You're just inserting that there is a force again. You're not giving us any scientific proof, but you're back to just declaring that there is one. I love it.
Do you know why the Cavendish experiment shows that equation?
Equations? So you think the results of scientific experiments are maths equations? No, that's not right, mate.
Yep.
When you perform science, you establish a cause. That's what it's for. It's not for establishing an equation. That's maths. Do you know the difference between...
You can establish a relationship.
Do you know the difference between maths and science? It would seem not.
When you do the experiment, you establish a relationship between the independent variable and
the dependent variable. It's not an experiment. Can you stop saying it? It's not an experiment.
Okay. Do you want to talk about another experiment that I have done myself?
You haven't answered my question.
A relationship
you haven't answered my question. I don't want to move on. My original question, when we established, as we've done so many times, that Cavendish is not an experiment, I wanted to know why you came here and declared that it was, when it absolutely is not.
Well, you just claimed that an experiment doesn't give you a formula. but it does give you a relationship between the independent variables and the dependent variables. So you are completely wrong there.
That's right. So it establishes the cause of the effect. That's right. Yeah. So it doesn't give you a formula. Yeah. I was still talking. Yeah. So it doesn't give you a formula then. It gives you a cause and effect relationship. Yes, that's right. However, while you carry on talking all over me, yeah, it's all right. I'm the one smiling here, my friend. So you can get as agitated as you like, but I will get to the end of my statement here. Yeah. As much as you want to declare that Cavendish is an experiment, it absolutely isn't. It does not have an observed phenomena. You keep saying that the phenomena's in the experiment. That's not step one. That's not the first step. The first step is to observe the phenomena. Now, you've given us the phenomena of things falling, and we've explained that there's something that precedes that, quite a lot of energy input. Yeah, same with your example about pumping stuff up to the top of a hill to let it back down again. Requires something pushing it up first, like the tree, like the pump. But you want to ignore all of those things that are not directly related to the Cavendish in any way, shape or form, and just declare that there's a force. Yeah, it's not going to work, my friend. It's not an experiment.
You're the one who's claiming that things just fall down. I mean, the force upwards is irrelevant to the acceleration downwards afterwards.
Really? So you can just, if I kick a ball up in the air, you can just ignore the fact that I've kicked it in the air. Assume we just have raining footballs, generally speaking, and we'll just measure those raining footballs, ignoring that you've had to kick them up in the air first. Yeah, of course. You need to ignore that bit to declare that there's a downward force. That's what you fundies do.
When you kick it up in the air, it is going at a certain speed. But then over time,
I caused that.
In speed.
Yeah, I caused that. There's no need to experiment here. I caused that. I caused that. This is not worthy of science, my friend. I kicked it. It went up. Then it came down again.
Finish asking my question before you interrupt me.
Why?
How does it decrease in speed?
Why are you asking me anything? Why are you asking me anything when it took you 20 minutes to ask what the constituent parts of the scientific experiment is? You don't have any place here. You've lied. You said you knew what an experiment was. What's the third constituent part of an experiment, liar?
Like I said before, I know what an experiment is, but I don't know your specific subdivisions into the three constituents.
You're a liar. That's why I'm saying you're not worthy of asking me questions.
I've done experiments myself. Where
so what was the third constituent part? So what was the third? You're a liar. You're just talking over everybody when you're a liar. Just a blatant liar.
You're literally wrong in your statements.
Yeah, well, give us the third constituent part of an experiment then.
Like I said, just because I don't know your specific subdivisions into the three constituents doesn't mean that I don't know what a scientific experiment is when I've done one myself.
Asshole, stop putting it on me. It's not my third subdivision. You just don't know it. So you are a fraud. You are a liar. You said you know what an experiment was. You've got two of the constituent parts. You don't know what the third is. So you're just a liar and a fraud. You're not worthy of asking me a damn thing. So you want to move past this experiment you've declared that's not an experiment because it doesn't have the constituent parts needed. Yeah, it doesn't have an observed phenomena, doesn't have a presumed cause of gravity, it doesn't have the third constituent part that you haven't mentioned. It doesn't have any of that shit. It's just bollocks. But you won't declare that after conceding you didn't know what an experiment was, you carried on babbling about what you think is an experiment and you think you've got the right to ask me anything. You haven't. With that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who have joined us in the Nathan Oakley 1980 live stream for tuning in, subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff. If you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned as there will be a short after show to follow. I've been Nathan Oakley. See you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
How was it?
It only took me about a half hour.
Gummy, that's your first. Gummy, that's the first time I feel you've probably been, presented with questions that you're finding it difficult to answer, right? I mean, I would have thought you'd come into this thinking, oh, I can prove the globe. It's easy. Gravity, it's easy. Science, it's easy. Experiments, it's easy. So, what's your feeling on this type of questioning?
Unfortunately, I don't feel like it's what's the word? like progressive in any way, because I felt like many of the questions were just about me not knowing that subdivision of the three constituents that I've never heard before.
Because
but you call it a subdivision, it's not. It's the main division. It's the foundation.
Well, I've never heard about those three components.
Dummy.
Without those three components, without those three, you don't have a scientific experiment. So if you don't have those three components in action during whatever you're doing, it's not an experiment.
Well, Gareth, you don't have to shout him now. You know, he's had 1 hour of berating.
But he doesn't understand the point. He keeps reiterating that he did an experiment, but he doesn't understand the steps of an experiment.
I know. But unless we,
I have no idea how to make one.
Unless we understand how he sees it, right? He's just going to disagree and say, no, this is an experiment. You've got it wrong. So we need to find out from him why he thinks it's an experiment.
Yeah, and that's what I tried to do, and you wouldn't let me, Spurs. You defended him when I tried to find exactly that out. That was my question you interrupted me on.
No, because he's just been...
Yeah, hold on, Spurs. Yeah, Spurs. Yeah, why? Why have you come here to... Spurs, that was the question I'd asked, and now you're rumpusing the daylights out of me while I try and ask it again. I don't get it. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Why the hell have you come here to parrot this nonsense that you don't really understand? That's what I wanted to know.
Can I make a quick
suggestion? But I mean...
I knew Spurs would answer. Spurs, I'm not asking you to white knight for him.
Oh, man.
I'm not asking Spurs to white knight for the guy. I want to know why the hell he's come here to parrot this nonsense he doesn't understand. And if the answer is, I do understand it, yeah, when we know blatantly that he hasn't got the third constituent part of an experiment, but apparently that's just our subdivision of an experiment, even though it's the main bloody thing in it. Everyone else on the panel knows, right the hand knows, but every time I ask him, why the hell are you here doing this, Spurs white knights for him.
All right, well, now that we're not live, could you please tell me the third constituent?
Well, no, you're the one declaring science. Don't you get it?
Well, this is what I'm here to learn, aren't I? If you know better than me, then
excuse me, did you just say I'm here to learn? No, you're here to tell us that you've got an experiment. That's what you've been here to do.
I'm telling you that I have an understanding of things, and you're challenging that understanding. Now, I don't understand your challenge, so therefore I'm asking you, what is the third constituent?
No! You have declared you know what science is. You've done experiments. You understand the method. You've got experiments. And when we say, what is an experiment? You go, I don't really know. Can you tell me? How dare you?
No, I'm telling you that I don't know your specific...
it's not my specific... You don't listen. Yeah, this is why I'm getting annoyed with you. This is the third time I've said it. It's not my specific constituent part of an experiment. It's the scientific method we're talking about, not Nathan's method. Yeah? I don't claim to have done experiments, but you do. Yeah? I'm not so bold as to claim I've done this. Yeah? I understand what it is, but you've declared you've not only done them, but you've got them in the form of a Cavendish quote-unquote experiment. And it isn't. We all know it isn't. Yeah? Einstein absolutely knew it wasn't because it's been pissed out the window by him. But you're still here defending it, thinking that Cavendish is in some way validation of a force that in the current rhetoric doesn't even exist. Gravity's not a force, my friend. But yet here you are telling us that some outmoded, outdated concept of a bloody man-made piece of equipment without a phenomena and without manipulating gravity as a cause is proof of gravity, scientifically. Yeah? And I want to know why the hell you would do that, and then after the fact ask us to teach you, the one making these garbage claims, what an experiment is. It's an absolute outrage.
Do you mind if I step in here? I'm not entirely sure if people can actually hear me or not. So
yeah, we hear you.
We hear you.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
So the reason I'm asking you is because I want to hear your understanding of an experiment. Now, I have my understanding of an experiment, which you claim is incorrect. So then I would like to hear what you think is the correct understanding of an experiment.
Why? I'm not claiming I've got one, am I? You are. So who cares?
You're saying that you know the three constituents.
Who cares what my understanding is? I'm not claiming to have an experiment now, am I?
But you're claiming that my understanding
and
is
you're
incorrect.
talking over me while I reply. So,
Yeah, because
I'll
you're not
say it
replying to
again
what I
while you
said.
keep talking over me. I understand that a demonstration of one's own ignorance can be humbling. In this instance, it's just turned you into somebody who interrupts a lot. So, I'm not going to school you in something that you claim you have. If you claim you have it, then you better be damn sure that you understand what it is. And if you don't, expect us to point that out to you. Don't challenge me on my understanding. I'm not the one making a claim. You are.
Nathan. It's
You
so
barely have
annoying.
any understanding of anything to do with physics and forces and anything like that. So, of course, I'm not going to listen to your random spouting that has no backing whatsoever. I mean, you claim that things fall because you push them upwards, but how do you think accelerate down when you push them upwards? That's illogical. Like, you're giving illogical arguments that have no backing whatsoever. So why should I listen to anything you say?
Why is he asking me a question? Did I not just explain that I haven't made any claims? You've claimed gravity. No, I haven't. I haven't made a claim about gravity. I haven't said I've got a scientific experiment. I haven't said any of that crap. That's the stuff you've said. But yet you're now saying that it's unreal. And now you talk, every time I talk, you talk over me. Yeah, this is typical baller behaviour. You get handed your own ass and then you feel the need to constantly interrupt me when I point out how badly you've had your ass handed to you. Yeah, you are the one declaring science, not me. So who cares what my understanding is? I understand where you don't understand. And you want me to school you now, do you? Having declared that you've got something and having had me point out that you haven't. Oh, right. I'll go into a nuclear debate, declare something, and when I get it completely fucking wrong, I'll say to the guy who understands it, well, why can't you just tell me where it's wrong? I'm making these bullshit claims. Seriously, you should be telling me.
Nathan, you make many claims. You have for the last 3 years. You've claimed the Earth is
talking
flat.
to
You've
this
claimed it's
asshole,
not a globe.
Dawn. Let's
You've
shut
claimed there's
Dawn
no
up.
gravity. You've claimed.
Shut up, Dawn. Nobody was talking to you.
Because it,
Dawn, seriously, fall back, Dawn.
Forward.
It's interesting.
I just want to know if I can be heard. I'll step out of.
Nathan, before you stop the show, I was just wondering if I could present something.
You don't
have to do it now, just when you get a free sec.
Can someone tell me if I can be heard or not?
Can be heard.
We hear you.
We hear you, Elijah.
You're up, mind walked.
Thank you.
I'll round out the show with whatever it is you've got to present, if you like.
Sorry, are you talking to me?
Yes, if everyone can clear the mics for Mind Warped.
Yeah. So, probably about 2 months ago, do you remember I presented a coast road image of Google Earth looking out towards Rottnest and how it had been taken out, and then miraculously, after we showed it on the show, the following day it was back again?
I do
remember. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I do remember.
Yep. Okay. Well, I was just wondering, I was on that same road today, and I found another location where on Google Maps it's not seen, but when I was driving there today, you can clearly see it. And even if the weather was terrible, worst case scenario weather, you will still see Rottnest Island. So I've presented my screen. If you can just bring it up for us, Nathan.
Yeah, you presented.
Cool. So don't mind this poor bugger in the pool here. It's just picked him up on Google Maps, but I'll just use that as a landmark when I actually. I've just screen recorded this on my phone, so you know where I am, and then I pan over. Take into account all this scenery here, and then you'll see when I do the next video that I'm in the same spot. So see that shrub there, that pole, that house. See, there's nothing there on the horizon, except we've got the port over here, and they're all just the ore ships coming in. If I stop that one, I play this one. Oh, sorry. Bring it over. I'm in the same location. That's the shrub. I've just taken it from inside my car. Yeah. forward so you can actually see.
I was gonna say you can almost see it at this resolution.
Can you see rottenness there?
Yeah.
And that's on my phone. That's not with a P900. Like you can see that clear.
It's blatant.
As,
Yeah. You could see it when it wasn't zoomed in.
Yeah, it's so easy to see. So, and then you can see. So I'm actually at the same house. That's the pool where that dude was standing at, and I've parked literally across the road.
So should we expect to see changes in Google?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. I wanted to present this and then see what happens. Hey, because last time I did this, it changed. But so I did that, and then sorry, I was. Let's have a look. I moved down the road and I did a second one. So if you have a look at this building here with the porthole windows, that's the location. So you can see when I film next, it's the same. See, like Google, they love to see the sun glare up there.
Yeah.
I don't even reckon that's real. They always put that there when they try to hide something. Like you can kind of see something there, but not.
It's kind of, yeah, it's fuzzed into the outline
It's
of
like-
the horizon.
Yeah, but I mean, even if that sun was there, it wouldn't fuzz everything out like that. I reckon they do it on purpose, but
It's a bad camera.
Yeah, I wonder if refraction could have anything to do with it.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, so this is at that same location.
Oh, okay, this is your footage.
Filmed again. Yep, so you see them. There's the porthole windows at the exact same location. And you can see it easy as. Even with that sun glow, you should be able to see that, like, easy as. Like,
Awesome.
if I'm just standing there, I can literally see, like, every single detail of the island. This is just on a Samsung Galaxy, so it's not the best. But if I had my P900, it would just stand out, like, full on.
How far away is that, bro?
I think 17 kilometers.
And with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who have joined us in the Nathan Oakley premiering stream for tuning in, hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!